Hey guys, we are ready to begin chapter 5 in our walk through 1 John. And this week we're going to focus on 1 John chapter 5, verses 1 through 12. And then next week we're actually going to finish 1 John. And then I'm going to take a week or so off and I'm going to do some promotion. I'm going to do maybe some giveaways. And then beginning May 3rd, we're going to walk through Galatians. And we're going to read this, we're going to use the same format. Hopefully I'll have some improvements on that. But I hope you'll be ready to join me in learning how to walk in the Spirit. You know, in Psalm 119, we walked in the Word, and in 1 John, we walked in the light, and now in Galatians, we're going to learn to walk in the Spirit. So I hope you'll be able to join me and maybe invite a friend, maybe grab somebody to be your accountability partner, and maybe find someone to read through Galatians with you. And like I said, I hope that you'll join me when we begin that. But today, we're just going to tackle 1 John chapter 5, verses 1 through 5. And so this is what verse 1 says. Whoever believes that Jesus is the Christ is born of God, and whoever loves the Father loves the child born of him. And so it says whoever believes that Jesus is the Christ. And I think it's important that we look at that word belief here. That, you know, I think sometimes and in some circles we've cheapened belief. We've cheapened that word. You know, we think that this is just some words you can recite and that you'll be good. But real belief is a surrender, it's a commitment, it's a continuing faith that you continue to grow and mature and you continue to believe more and more. And so that builds your faith in Christ and that allows you to grow up and mature in Him. And so remember that our belief is not cheap. You know, what we believe is going to cost us. And I think that we've kind of gotten, for a while, we didn't know if that would be true. But we know today that our belief is costly, that when we claim Christ, that it's going to cost us something. Verse 2 says this, by this we know that we love the children of God when we love God and observe His commandments. And so we've often talked about how John hits these same truths over and over, love, truth, and obedience. And here he takes love, you know, a little bit deeper. He says that this kind of belief and this kind of love is going to result in obeying God's commandments. That this kind of faith and this kind of love is going to result in obedience. You know, that means that we're going to walk out our faith and we're going to want His will, and we're going to do that because we believe in Him and we trust Him. Then verse 3, it takes it a little bit deeper. It says, for this is the love of God, that we keep His commandments, and His commandments are not burdensome. And so it says that we're going to love Him and we're going to love His brothers. We're going to love our brothers and sisters, and we're going to keep His commandments, and they're not going to be a burden. You know, sometimes we've believed the lie that the world tells us that, you know, if you really surrender everything to Christ, that you're going to have a terrible life. And, you know, it is going to be hard and it is going to be difficult. But, you know, this won't be a burden. It'll actually bring you freedom. That it actually will free you up when we really want to obey the Lord and walk in His will, that it actually brings freedom. It does not bring burdens, it brings freedom. And then verse 4 is even more encouraging. It says, for whoever is born of God overcomes the world, and this is the victory that has overcome the world, our faith. Who is the one who overcomes the world? But he who believes that Jesus is the Son of God. And so right there it says that not only are we going to believe and obey and love, but that we are going to overcome. That we overcome this world, that we overcome our circumstances, that we can overcome the deception, that we can overcome the propaganda, that we can overcome the persecution, that we can overcome all those things because Jesus has overcome all of this already, that we walk out of victory, that we've already won, but we have to learn how to obey and love and believe more and more. We're continuing our faith. We're continuing to grow. And the result is that we overcome because Christ overcame.